It seems that the education department in the schools has let themselves down once again. It seems that a pupil was sent home because they spoke about the party reform. It is not the place of any teacher or school to talk and indoctrinate children about politics. It is not their place. Their job is simple. Your job is to teach them the tools that they need for life, not to indoctrinate them with commie woke rubbish. Get on with your job and do your job, or we'll come for you. We'll come for you. We'll come for your jobs, we'll come for your schools, and you will do your job and keep unbiased and out the way. Let the kids learn. How many of you teachers have actually taught a child how to use a tax return form? I know I was never taught at school. How many of you have taught children how to budget with money in order to make sure that they can live a life and save money? Saving now is almost unheard of in a world where every penny is counted just to pay the bills. Do your children in your school know how to negotiate with the utility companies that they use? I bet not. I bet they're just told to be obedient, unless there's anything to do with gender, colour or race. And that in itself is wrong, because we are all British, are we not? If we are all British in the United Kingdom, how can you be racist? How can you use a race card against anybody who has come to live and stay in the UK because you're British now? And colour makes no difference. We are colour blind. There are a few idiots, very minimal, but there are a few idiots, yeah. But there's the same few idiots in every country. We know the problems are that there are people coming to the United Kingdom, to America and other parts of Europe, whose ideology is set back 800-900 years. Their thoughts on rights and the abilities for people are archaic and don't belong in a modern day society. But having them around, causing issues, causing problems, breaking things up, just dividing the people is a brilliant thing if you're a politician, because while you're out fighting each other, we'll grab the money and run off into the sunset, as they all do. This next election, are you going to choose the two cheeks of the same arse, blue, red? Are you going to fall for the same BS that's been going on for decades and decades that will never change, and you will never get anywhere, you'll never go anywhere, because they don't want you to. In fact, they want to enslave you even more. And when you get one of those larger parties, there's the greens and the oranges and reds behind them, who are just as bad, with even less of a clue, who have their little pots in diversity. Oh yes, we're going on diverse, anything for the minority and not the populace. And that's why they don't like the term, do they? They use the word as if it's a swear word. They say populist. Well, if it's popular, that means it's something that the people want. It's called pop music because it's wanted, it's what the people look to, it's what they like. So it's called pop culture if the people like that culture. It's called pop politics if the people like that politics. They've heard all your lies, they've had it for decades. Not interested anymore. You've blown it. We know who you are. You're liars, thieves, you're corrupt to the core. We don't want any of that anymore. We've had that. We've seen it. Goodbye. We're looking for someone else now. We'll give someone else a chance. We'll see what they can do. Many people look to reform. They look to reform because they think, well, this guy actually knows what he's doing and he's out to, he's not a career politician like all the rest. And he's out there to do something, to make a change, to reform politics. Give him a chance. It's up to you. Your choice. Your little X marks the spot. But there's a thing, isn't there, with politics. I remember when I was a youngster, I was quite left-wing, very left-wing. In fact, almost borderline communist. And that was because of the education system in our country. It would encourage me to look in that direction. The thing is, as those of a theological background would recognise, when I was a babe, I acted as a babe and I spake as a babe. I am no longer a babe. Now I am a man. I speak as a man and I think as a man and I act as a man. So I have learned through life that things are different to the way they are portrayed. Yeah. So don't be taken up, don't be taken in by these people. Look at their track record. Look at what happened 2020 to 2022. Look what happened in 1995. Look what happened in 2001. Look at all these things that they've done. And it's people have just gone, yeah, whatever, we can't do anything about it. Yes, you can. Yes, you can, and you can. And all you've got to do is, for people in the UK, on the 4th of July, Independence Day, you can make yourself independent of these useless, scrounging, lying, propagandist, woke, wef puppets and give them one of them and vote for someone else. Preferably a local person, someone you know, your local MP who's a independent, or you can go for the Reform Party or one of the lesser parties and send one of them to the Reds and the Blues and saying, you've had enough of your lies, go away. We don't want you anymore. Who am I voting for? Well, that's between me and the ballot. But it won't be red or blue. Now, there's a lot of people who think, do you know what? I don't agree with any of this. I'm going to write none of the above. Now, that doesn't work, right? Doesn't work. Because they'll just take it as a non-vote, avoid vote, and not taking any notes. There's also a thing like writing, I do not consent. Now, there's a point to this. I don't consent to your parliamentary thing because it's broken and it doesn't work. Well, yeah, that's true, right? And they got a point there. That is a very valid point. But there is another point to this. When it comes to these cynical people who run the voting in the election, all they're going to do is go, oh, it's another void. So, here's the thing. If your granddad or your great-granddad was still alive, they might have been able to tell you that there was a war, in fact, 2 wars. And one of the parts, there were many things that those wars were about, but one of the things was to maintain the right to put your little X next to a name on a ballot paper and put it in a box and do it in a private place. If you give your power to people who take your power away, eventually what's going to happen is they're going to take away voting. There was a failed Austrian painter in the 1930s in Germany. And it was his thing to take away. Once he had got elected, he took away the vote. And you notice this in other countries quite recently. They put in a poll, they get elected. Once they get elected, they stop all elections. That's not democracy. That is dictatorship. The reason we have freedom in the United Kingdom is because we're a free country. We are not a dictatorship. Nor should we let anyone become a dictator. Democracy has failed here because the people in charge of that democracy failed. Not the actual system, but the people who implemented that system corrupted it. Let us not be taken in. Let us not be used and abused anymore. For all the people of the United Kingdom, whatever your colour, whatever your creed, whatever your faith, you are British. You are British, first and foremost. If you live here and you're part of our system, you are British. So, as my fellow Brits, I say to you, free yourself. On the 4th of July, let's become independent. That's our Independence Day. It's where we become independent of the corrupt, weft, woke stupidity that's been in charge for the last 30 years. Have a good day. Take care of yourself. Hope to see you soon, and we'll go back to normal, the normal program, you might say, very soon. Okay, so have a good time, and remember, I and the universe love you. Take care. Bye bye. Oh, and please, like, subscribe and stuff. Bye.